AI.
All right. Yeah, cool. Then welcome. Here we are. It's time for tunnel meeting number 173. It's December 9th, 2025. And today we're being joined by Ayomi, Colleen, Guillermo, Mikasa, Devo, and Vani. Thanks for being here. Also, after the last couple of weeks of maybe those watching this on YouTube may have noticed, a couple of the town halls fell apart through very small attendance, where we figured, like, yeah, okay, to go through all these motions just to have a casual talk after that doesn't make a lot of sense. But we're back. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, an outline for today's call, starting with a couple of mentions, and then I do want to touch on the end of year schedule a little bit to, well, maybe provide a bit of clarity, put some reminders. After that, we move to the results or the initial results of sentiment analysis, which we had a session for earlier today during governance by Tevo. And after that, we'll have Guillermo talking about the AI assistant and a little call to action there. If there's any time remaining after that, there's room for open topics. Cool. And before getting started, a quick reminder on what the ambassador program even is and what we're doing. Basically, we're a group of quite like-minded people that are all quite in tune with the mission and vision of Singularity Net and its wider ecosystem, building towards beneficial AGI. And we do this through quite a wide range of self-organizing work groups. If you're interested in helping out, you most definitely can. Do up onto our Discord server. It has a how to join section, and this will tell you how to join. Hope to see you there. Then, yeah, two quick mentions. First of all, was a bit of unclarity on my side, to be honest. I thought initially the reports, the work group reports for Q4, had a deadline on December 7th, end of day. But also yesterday I saw a big call out for, well, there's not that many, or there's still a couple missing. Please add it. I think technically it's not closed yet. So if your work group hasn't submitted their quarterly report, which this quarter is a relatively short report, concise, focusing on the impacts made during the quarter. So yeah, if your work group hasn't submitted it yet, please do so. It's a bit fake, this deadline already having passed, but it's still open for submissions. But I think that the main aim is to, well, basically get all the work group reports. So in that sense, yeah, I guess we need to re-establish a deadline, seeing the current one has passed, but not really. But I think for now, ASAP would be a quite reasonable deadline there. And yeah, I also wanted to call out for those that held AGIX tokens during the hard fork. And this is back in 2021. So eligibility date for this is quite a long time ago. But the Rejuve airdrop is live. So if you happened back then to have some tokens, well, you can get some different tokens right now for free. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing a whole bunch of mentions of events happening the coming week. But yeah, this is pretty much what I could find. Quickly checking chat before moving on. Funny saying, technically it is closed, but yeah, it's kind of like closed but open. All right. Yeah, I think that covers for now. Then the first thing I wanted to touch on, it's a little bit also a couple of mentions in a way. So this won't be like half an hour of discussion item. Just a couple of yeah updates on the end of year and what it will look like. So I figured next week would be a good time for the last town hall of the year. The week after that is 23rd of December, and yeah, traditionally in the holiday period, attendance drops quite a bit because of people celebrating holidays. So next week will be the last one of this year. And I do want to make a quick call out pretty much to everybody in the room. Please check if for the work groups you're in, if the calendars accurately reflecting the also the holiday schedule. So yeah, just want to, you know, avoid disappointment if people are trying to join your work group call and it's simply not taking place. So yeah, please have a double check. Not just on the end of the year, but also on the start of the year. I'm kind of assuming it's going to be for most work groups, it would be yeah back to business as usual in the week of Monday the 5th of January. But there might be exceptions to this. And yeah, it would be great if we can have the calendar as a single source of truth for all meetings that are taking place. Then, yeah, a very quick one on the end of year report. We discussed this in, I think it was last week, and perhaps even the one before that, where we had a bit of a, yeah, I think it must be 2 weeks ago already. Um, yeah, basically, and funny, please do correct me if I'm wrong. But currently, the idea is to get all the reports, which I mentioned earlier, the work group reports for Q4, and pretty much massage that into one report. And yeah, this in order to prevent the how should we formulate this? Last year, it took a long time before the end of year report got published, like awfully long. I think it was like well far into the second quarter, and that's just not great. So yeah, with that in mind, yeah, the aim for this one is going to be January, and we didn't pick a date yet, I don't think. But yeah, not Q2 specifically. And yeah, then one final thing, and it's also open to other inputs if there's other things you want to mention in light of the end of year schedule. But there's going to be a bunch of interviews happening, and you may have been reached out already about how we want to restructure the program, looking to well 2026 pretty much. I've seen a couple of people submit a document with their thoughts on this already, and I also know that a couple of interviews have been taking place. So yeah, this is ongoing, and there will be full-on reporting on that. I think pretty much in early January. And thanks, Fanny, for putting the link in there.
Yeah, that's just where we're collating all the interview comments, but also you can add your own if you're not on the interview list. So please do.
Yeah, yeah. So the one tiny remark there. Please don't be sad if you're not getting reached out for interviews. We kind of decided to go for the those that likely have quite some insights to add, but are generally not attending the governance calls where these kind of topics, people have plenty of space to share. So we kind of went with the people that don't generally attend those. So please, yeah, don't feel skipped or anything if you're not getting an interview. Your input is still very much welcome. Um, yeah, quick check on the room. Is there anything else that we should be touching on in light of the well, wrapping up 2025?
I would mention that during the final 2 weeks of the year, the Treasury may skip weekly transactions if total recognition contributions for that week are minimal or operators are relaxing. I will also put written text at some point in channel to remind people. So kind of everything will remain the same weekly transactions, except if there is like too little of to recognize, which could be a thing as we all go to holiday. And already we can see that we're doing like one transaction per week instead of two. So I think this may turn into zero at some weeks. But everything will continue as, and if there are few transactions, they will just be forward to the start of the next year. So nothing is lost.
Yeah, fair. Well, that especially that last bit is good to know, of course. Yeah, cool. All right. I think that's it as far as end of year stuffs go. All right. Well then. that brings us to the initial results of the sentiment analysis we did earlier today during the governance slot. And I guess, Tefo, can I simply give you the floor, or can I assist in some way, or what would make sense for this?
I don't know. I guess I will share screen. Only presenter is allowed to share. Yeah, so
I think I gave you co-host.
yeah, maybe was at the same time as you were closing your screen and it prompted me some new question. Okay, I assume you all see motherboard. I see new people in this meeting right now of who were not part of it. So basically, we went around clarifying all of these questions, how well we are like doing repetitions or organizing repetition in ambassador program, how predictable is our funding, do we gather often, not how well we organize our reputation building, do we have clear principles and roadmap, and have we established a good environment. Then we did polling both in Zoom and Microboard because not everybody were able to do it in the Zoom, and then basically aggregated this into this kind of sentiment where 1 to 5 it's more like it's something is happening until it's very good, and then number 6 is representing that okay actually this is negative or we should change something completely. Compared to the last year, it seems like we do have a bit of like focus difference in the questions themselves. But regarding sentiment, I think it's one of the unique sessions where we are overly, I don't know, negative, or I don't know if you can call it a negative, but like there is a strong like want of changing direction. Um, when I was preparing this, or like, yeah, when I pointed out the idea of having this sentiment analysis, my assumption was that we're gonna get like 1 or 2 categories that where we are most likely need to prioritize. Um, where now it shows like, and maybe this is why we had previous discussions. We need to restructure because on all of these different like dimensions, we have sentiment today. We need to change stuff, and maybe that consistent thought has put us all into that mode of that this is not good state we are in. And unfortunately, weren't able to kind of deep dive into this analysis of what these results mean and what are the specific evidences that people bring up in order to like justify or clarify why the score is given. Uh, so yeah, now we like need to do it either somehow asynchronously or look at the results later. But we thought that maybe it's worthwhile to bring one question to this town hall and go through these questions and then basically give a score 3 out of the 6 like questions in how meaningful or important is that question in our current time. And that may just give us a bit of clarity of where to start from and like the deep dives in particular. We did assess a bit of notes on the meeting itself in 2 of the questions because of the large like divergence. But yeah, we'll probably will need to do more of that, or we'll start coming up as we are going to do restructuring discussions. But I don't have a Zoom poll prepared, so I wonder if this time everybody is able to join Motherboard and we do this prioritization like voting in Motherboard itself, or should we try to do it in Zoom? Sharing the link again. And what I mean by this is if you open the Motherboard link, soon there will be these 6 red sticky notes. If I add them into a selection, and I will give everybody 3 votes, and let's say 4 minutes and 1 vote per object, then once you join here, you should have join voting option. If this in some reason doesn't pop up when you are joining Motherboard, on the top right corner, you will have this kind of voting button, and there it should kind of open this up. Basically, what it does then is you will have these plus icons where you can choose which which question you would prioritize or find most meaningful. And basically, yeah, if everybody does it, we will have like a score for each question. Any clarifying questions? And yeah, if you can't choose basically or use Maraboard, I guess let's use it as an order. And either privately message me, or if you don't mind that your name is associated with the sequence of selection, then you can just use the public chat and tell either copy paste the question from what Vani mentioned, and then give your basically copy paste 3 questions that you think are most meaningful. Meanwhile, I'm gonna do the voting myself on Maraport.
So just checking. There's 4 people currently on the Miro board, and there's 8 people in the room. So there might be 4 people that could give their opinion on the Zoom chat.
Hopefully. Yes. 3 people already have given some points on the Maraport.
Well, Guillermo, this is a new question from what we did this afternoon. This is purely about which of the 6 questions, which 3 of those you feel are most important. So yeah, if you can, please hop onto the Miro and yeah, click those 3.
Yeah. 30 seconds, the Maraport voting is closing. Does anybody need extra time?
Yep, please. My site is loading, taking longer to load the site. Could you extend the time a bit more?
I have done that, and I now see your name also on Maraport.
Also, I would say if you're really struggling to select 3 most important, 2 wouldn't hurt either, right? Any is welcome there, I would say.
Yes. Now it's about gut feeling and instinct. And if your instinct says roll a dice, it may be the right choice. We have 20 seconds left. Does anybody need more extra time? I have 10 seconds left. 9, 4, 5, 3. I don't know what sequence.
Houston, we have a problem.
All right, nice.
What this small exercise helped us is to at least postpone two of the questions, or like to the least important. And yeah, well, basically we found our three top questions. Good thing is one of them we were slightly able to address in the session itself. But yeah, we now know these three more questions that we need to dive into. I'm quite interested in the fact that we have established a good environment and we have people all over the place. So yeah, that was the kind of small exercise to finish the sentiment survey. Now, do we want to now tackle the topics themselves, or we move to another town hall agenda?
Well, looking at the clock, there's 25 minutes on the slot, and I kind of feel we could very easily fill that. We saw this afternoon as well, right? Time flies once you deep dive into the topic. So, in a way, I'm inclined to. Okay, it feels to me close to impossible to say like, well, let's do 5 or 10 minutes, but maybe that could work. But I don't think we should like. There is another agenda item, and Guillermo, I think this would be. I'm just estimating, but I think it would be at least 10 minutes. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Hey, Pete. Well, I don't know. We can do some exercise. Let me share this. But the concept, okay, so we want to document and communicate with the experiment we're doing here in terms of governance, okay? So, and a video blog, it's a best, well, a pretty good format. So not only we do have all the recordings of these sessions, but also we can organize and have a probably a better response if you guys manage your time by yourself. This is a call to action to record a response or an impression on the experience with the AI governance assist framework we put together and how it's coming together. Yeah, to make that idea of a short video documentary series or something like that. And document what we're doing. You know, if we don't communicate, well, communication is 90% of the whole thing. So if you guys agree and join the challenge, well, we will properly shout out a call to action on our channels. Probably that's the best way. And we will, yeah, share a video, okay? Recording of each, well, if you pick the format, if you want to do a video or just an audio recording, picking your best avatar and keep your identity as a lot of us here does, or written in a document, okay? As some already has already. And we'll put it in a timeline, you know, kind of narrative, context setting at the beginning, introduction, Q1, Q2 research, what we experience here in governance calls. We resume it in 2 minutes and something, and close with the next steps and what we're trying to be doing on the V3. So if you guys want to share this link also and invite committee members, core contributors, and also newcomers, what they think of this. Probably we can spread out the channels and get more people involved on the idea and the feeling and perception of the concept. Of course, critics and most of those that you have participated, you have more a best impression. Probably probably some bias on some ideas, like some of us does about this experiment, human AI collaboration, how we design that framework, and all of that. It's a community experience we have been doing together, so it's pretty cool. And that will be the call to action, okay? So bring it on, and we put a folder together and share it. We will include it probably in a couple of minutes in this document, okay? So yeah, let's put it out on the channels and let's see where we can get. If we can push it out, yeah, we can communicate what we do. All on my end.
I noticed there is a question about using Sarah in Q3 consent process. Technically, I didn't use it there, but I did use it this time when I was submitting stuff. Or are we really
It was Q3? It was Q3, no?
Yeah, it
We
was,
used it
but I just
previously?
didn't really use it. Are we then focusing on Q3 or in general the Cowdash tool?
Yeah, I think from the beginning till today, we have the previous iteration for consent where we use the thing, we vote, and now we have the reporting. You have a new template added, and so we have 2 iterations already of usage. But hey, also, if you guys jump into the document, fully open, so edit the questions or whatever idea you guys think we can use into this, or an image or a diagram, Tivo, or link for Miroboard. We can puzzle all the thing together, kind of a freaking collage. Okay.
Okay. So the idea is that these are just like guiding questions to kind of get people thinking, but
yeah, let's still keep it open to the creative process. The idea is that I'm just presenting the idea is a timeline. We set up the context where we were. We can start including diagrams and some then technical aspects of the architecture, but then the idea of the experience of the user, the community member in this idea of AI assistant for decision making and governance, how we visualize it as decentralized, enthusiast and AI. So let's put all ideas are welcome into the document. And again, links, whatever you guys think we can use on this. Again, visualize a timeline at the beginning of the year and where we are today with the governance ourselves and including this tooling. Also, probably we'll include some of the discussion we have on BGI and conference, or well, we can use some bits and bytes of some recordings we do have in our database, but that it takes some time. So it's better if we talk about the experience of each one of the users or the community members that kind of gonna express the real thing about, and also keep it spicy. I know there's a lot of critique on what we're trying to do, and so bring it on. That's the whole point of documenting this and communicating this. If you guys like the idea and agree, I'm going to include right now in 2 minutes while we finish this town hall a link for a folder and whatever format, please throw it in. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, if you don't mind, I quite like the suggestion in chat on the making tabs and for the answers, because I think it will be very chaotic if we have 20
Love it.
people applying in different colors. You'll run out of colors and
Yeah. Yeah, and the best format, please, definitely video. If you guys or audio, so we follow the format. So and also to present the diversity of us, speaking the language of science and so but tabs, yeah, definitely welcome. I haven't even figured out how to use them. Even thought of them. But yeah. So yeah, and Vani, that's the next one on my end. Add the folder right now. Let me create a folder and yeah.
Oh no, sorry, I meant like
link.
when you've got them, where will you share them? That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Well, it's still a question. So where will you put this documentary or video, like the end product? Where will that be shared?
Oh, we put it as far as we can get. But this is the other thing that we kind of missed the other day when we discussed on BGI outcomes, because we did have a specific topic discussion on this. So I think it's related. This kind of we have this idea of documenting and sharing what we are doing. But yeah, also I have 700 kilometers to drive and to put some ideas back on the agenda. And Colin shared it the other day on R&D again. That yeah, we should discuss this and share it. We can use all our media channels. I don't know, talk with Pam and see if they want to share it. If we get a product that is decent,
Hmm.
to share a concept that is kind of, and if not related most with our vision and mission. So yeah, let's see. It depends on the contributions from the core contributors and community members. If we get some good stuff, we can.
Oh, of course, but so just for clarity, the intention is very much to have this be a public, shared, amplified thing, not a private.
Yeah. Oh, what do you think we should do? I think we should definitely do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, just it is good to clarify that if people send in videos and
Oh
they end
yeah.
up on YouTube,
Oh yeah. I know. Sorry, I'm kind of not related with that kind of thing, but yeah,
but
probably to be aware of and to probably include it on the document.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's already included if we're gonna share it, but definitely, yeah. Let me get the folder first, and then we include a line on that. Bunny, if you're around still here, you can do the honors. You're the expert on that. Be
On
aware.
what? Sorry.
Be aware this will be public. Can you include a line on that? I'm
Oh,
gonna create a
right.
folder.
Yeah. No, I can add
You're
something.
good
Yeah.
with that. Let me get this folder going on. Put your videos here. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will be forced to be on video against their will, so no worries there.
No, I'm just wondering though, like if I don't think I'm going to get around to making a video, but if I just add it as text, will it be useful? Would you want to use it or not? Because if you mainly want videos, then
But Vanny, I think your audio, or maybe if you just go into a Zoom meeting and record that of your avatar, I
yeah,
think
I'm
that
still
would be
not going
great.
to. No, I'm still
No?
not going to.
Okay.
Wait, video is preferred? I can change my format. I thought it doesn't matter. Guillermo, you're talking to yourself.
I think the idea is to for the end product to be a video. So then, yeah, the video from multiple sources makes it cooler.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree. Funny, it would be identifiable. Yeah, I mean, I guess in theory, there's all kind of like voice stuff, but yeah.
Should I be making clips of different, like as I understand this, like a timeline series of experiences? Should I make a clip of every experience, or I just
That's your
go
favorite.
through all my experience in one go and
Do that old school 1 second video thing, Tebo. That would be cool from your perspective.
1 second move, a 10 second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
remember that? There was that
1 minute
thing, what
game.
was it called? Vine or something, where it was 1 second videos all edited together. Those were so cool.
Listen, so yeah, I think all are welcome. Whatever input you know, it's still art, video, but it's communication. So, however you feel better to respond or to bring some feedback, T1. Forget about the questions, you know. Also, that or bring your own question. What is missing there? I put some inputs with my tooling and all the notes that I have, and that's how, you know. So now good time for the personal experience. More knowing other ecosystems and all, the things that we figure out while we were moving ahead, because I think that the discussion that it sparks still today. So, and as concrete as possible. If we go hours on hours on a concept to explain it, kind of hard to edit. So as concise, and concrete, and if it's in bits, in shorts, that will be easier also to go through the material and to edit it. So yeah, 15 minutes, yeah, that one, I'd rather go for a 30-second or a 1 minute than for a 15-minute on the whole, everything mixed. So whatever thoughts, organize them, and that will, you can use time. But hey, good, really cool, the reception, and yeah, let's put it on the channels and let's see what we can get at the end of it. And again, Tivo diagrams, let's follow up on this. We can do an edit first. We put it out. There's the link for the folder already in the document, and yeah, it's gonna be public. Okay, note.
And when do we have the deadline? I myself already start like planning like soon because I don't faster
Yeah,
get stuff
yeah. I
done.
think it will be good to start. We can say Friday deadline. What is Friday is the 12th. We can edit and push to close the year. Yeah, Friday can be good. What do you guys think?
I can handle it.
Yeah, it works for me. In the end, I think it's more about getting a good one than getting one out quickly. So in that sense, I don't directly see the urgency of having a 3-day deadline for submission, but it's also fine.
Yeah, yeah. I think the document is pretty kind of straightforward. Probably one or two fonts in red or in purple, and we put it, and I'll share it later on the channels, and to see who joins. Also there was other community members or ecosystem friends from audience and other ecosystems that have already checked the tooling and probably can bring some other feedback. And yeah, let's see what we can get, and then we edit what we have, and that will do it. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, Tefo, you are right with your comments in chat. These external, let's say, communities would not be actual users so far. So yeah. It's hard to say. That depends on what their feedback would be. Like if they're praising it for its
Yeah.
easy use and blah blah blah. Well, we know they're not using it yet. Yeah, there's not much use.
Yeah. Also, no, but the thing is that you can have a perception from the context of why a community is doing this, and you can interact today with the tool and the framework. And for example, we have a Dolphin joining the other day on R&D that she's digging on meta language, and while we're searching for adding enhancing the cognitive aspects of our agents, I asked her to also participate, and she already was presented with the tool, and she's a developer, have the knowledge of software engineer and architecture. So, it's kind of good opinion for a kind of a documentary, Also,
Delphi is going to be a great addition to what we are doing. Definitely, Guillermo. Yeah. Delphi.
Delphi.
Yeah.
Dolphin, yeah. So Everything welcome, okay? And also diagrams. Tivo, you have a list of links of what we use for this. Also, Vani, what the concept process. We need to present the consent process also. So yeah, I think we can do it in a we don't go too crazy, with the production aspects, and we keep it simple. We can have it. But that's the challenge. So yeah, let's close it up.
Nice. Yeah, thanks a lot. Um, let's see. Now, in theory, we have 7 minutes on the slot, and I'm not really sure if it makes sense to hop back to trying and squish a tiny sentiment analysis exercise in those 7 minutes, or I don't know if that
Yeah, I
would
think
make sense. Like,
no, or maybe rather, I don't know,
no, it's fine.
like a round table of accountability, or like it's just giving everybody gives it their perspective of what they're gonna do regarding restructuring or because I don't know, and maybe it's just enough if I'm understanding correctly that the next steps is to after like these small like updates will come out, there is gonna be a governance open work group, but there already has a topic of how do we look at the funding of outsourced funding or like how like the funding topic. So most likely that this sentiment discussion won't be picked up. And now as we all the meetings basically are going, we only have maybe one town hall coming, are going into like this holiday mode.
yes.
There's not gonna be much of discussions around any of discussions and the way we perceive them.
Well, I mean, holiday
On
season.
that, on
We need to stop on the concept. Like, I think there will be, at least from my side, I'm planning for quite some asynchronous work on it, but also um, the idea was never to have the restructure formalized and finalized by end of year or before the holiday break. Like in theory, we have the whole of Q1 pretty much for puzzling that out. And of course, the sooner the better. I'm not trying to, yeah, put unneeded delays, but yeah,
yeah.
the holiday period as a end to this process.
But what we're trying to say is that this is now all the results we have. We have this general sentiment of all the work groups. We have now this ambassador program sentiment. There's gonna be some a little bit more interview sentiment, and then we're gonna have all the work group reports. And so basically what we ask people is if you have time, if you have interest, start basically reading them, putting your mind into that situation of where do you see biggest tensions and think in your head how would we solve that with restructuring, all of this that come up or the ideas and thoughts. I guess where we want people to, if this is an idea that pops up in your head and don't know how to record it, I guess we don't have like a specific source, so we just put it into Discord, anywhere in any channel, and we pick up the pace starting with January. We don't know how yet, but we know that we're gonna use all the resources that we gathered so far.
I think that's quite accurate. I would add, if you check out, I think it's, I'll tap to Discord. This breaks my laptop usually when I do it. It's either the governance channel or the decisions to be made channel, I think, where there's this document for sharing your vision on what this restructure should be like. So in that sense,
Yeah, right. We have that also.
capturing. That being said, if you, for some reason, if somebody posts this whole epistle about what they feel like on a random Discord channel, sure, that will be also, it's not going to waste. Yeah, in the end, it's fine wherever you post it, I guess. But the intention behind that document is to collect inside one document. And of course, I'm having issues finding it smoothly.
I think this is that one.
You are sharing different documents, so one of you is maybe.
Yeah, define one of them at least.
Yeah, Trevor, that's the one that like the collated responses from the interviews and from anybody who's not been interviewed. So that's those specific questions. But the one I put is like more general, like if you've got an idea for how it should be restructured, that is like a bit more of a fuller idea rather than answering those specific questions.
Yeah, so best case scenario, if you feel like pouring your heart out and sharing, do both, I guess. The more input, the merrier. But either one is also completely fine and very welcome. Well, 7 minutes flew by. A quick check to see if there's any questions we should be answering right now, or relatively short topics we need to be touching on during this town hall, because we're here and we can. All right. Silence and nobody raising hands, so I assume then that there's no burning questions for now. I think that's a wrap. Yep, it is. Thanks all for being here and sharing your time and insights and participating in the exercise. Quick call out
Thank
to.
you for hosting.
You're more than welcome, but I want to give a quick call out to tomorrow's archive monthly call, followed by education work group. And yeah, well, let's go ahead. Then on Thursday, we do have AI Sandbox and Think Tank and Open Governance work group, followed by African Guild. And then for Friday, we have the usual of marketing, writers, and video. So yeah, there's, let's see, 8 more goals for this week. You won't have to be bored. Yeah, see you on one of those calls, hopefully. And if not, we'll talk on Discord or see you on the next one. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.